Hello, lovely friends. Hello, lovely friends. I'm back again. I'm working on some new things, building some new relationships. Really grateful for some parts of my life that are just growing like weeds. And these are the parts of my life that are, just unconditionally loving parts of my life. This part of my life is growing like a weed, and I'm meeting such incredible people. I'm meeting incredible people all over the world, and I'm grateful for it. And it's making it's bringing so much richness and love and joy into my life. Today I'm going to be speaking with Vibrant Spirit. Here he looks like he's here now. Just get accustomed to some new technology, some new things that I've just you know been made aware of, and I'm just learning how to navigate with. And here we go. Looks like it's becoming second nature for us now. We're looking like pros here.
Hello,
we're getting
John.
we're getting it together.
Finally here, and I'm really, really ecstatic to see you here.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
And I, I hereby welcome our viewers who are very excited for this session as well. And my page name is Vibrant Spirit, and my name is Ravikant, which is sunlight, the rays of sun in Indian name.
Brother, before we get started with anything, please, can you, share 10 minutes, 5, 10 minutes about yourself, about who you are, about what you're doing, about, what's important to you, uh, how we got connected, what you want out of your life, brother, what you'd like to live for, what's most important to you, brother. Share a little bit about yourself so people can know you.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's my pleasure, John. My name is Ravikant. Uh, in, in Indian name, it is called the rays of the sun. And I am now offering my services as a dedicated volunteer in a spiritual organization. And the organization name is Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. And I'm in my spiritual life as a dedicated volunteer in which we practice meditation. Um, we practice uh, self-actualization, raising our vibration levels, and bringing out the best version of ourselves, so that our energies are transcending every day, every moment, and reaching each and every spirit, so that we are enlightening each and every soul. Uh, that's our practice, and this organization in which I am dedicated to is in 140 countries around the globe and counting. And I've been staying in Mount Abu, which is located in the state of. I am here since 11 years as a spiritual aspirant and as a meditator. Every day in my life is a journey in which I'm learning, and in which I'm aspiring new heights in my life. And now comes the important question: how I came into contact with you. A couple of years ago, in fact, I think it's 3 years, um, I was diagnosed with serious disc bulges and annular tear in my spinal cord, in addition to the cervical spondylitis. The important thing I need to mention here is I was battling depression before coming into this organization. Before dedicating myself to spirituality, I was battling depression in my personal life. I was addicted to various things. I was addicted to drinking sometimes, smoking sometimes, and it's a tough life as a kid because I was just a 22-year-old at the time when I was battling some serious depression. It all started at the age of 20 because I lost my mother at the age of 16, and then the life was a bit of struggle. Staying away from my dad again, from my sister. I was living alone, so I was addicted to some bad habits, and then the life was a bit tough for me, and it was like I was battling some severe depression, uh, you know, and at the age of 22, it's destiny that I got. I thought I should change. I should break this chain, and I should start a new life. I was not happy with myself, with what I'm doing, and I thought I would now put a full stop to this, what's going on with my life. And I thought I should value my life. I should value the time. I should value my energies, and I should start with something new. Because I was reading some books, motivational books, like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, or The Living with the Himalayan Masters, The Power of Subconscious Mind, and the most importantly, Louis Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life, these things. And I thought now is the time to take a new step in my life. Now I should begin a new life. And then uh, a shift in my life happened, and I came into this beautiful university, which is in Mount Abu, which is in India. And after 8 years of journey in this life, because of various things, um, because partially due to depression in my previous life as well, there was weakness in my nerves. Uh, the physical body isn't supporting me much, and I had to battle the chronic pain in my body, as I've told you, vertigo, or the lower back pain, severe pains, maybe sciatic as well. And one of my friends, uh, who is a spiritual uh, partner, my friend in this journey, he introduced me into some new practices like sun gazing, grounding, and this raw vegan lifestyle, pranic lifestyle. Even he is a Breatharian practitioner as well. So at the moment, he's practicing his life as a nomad, and it's been 2 years since I've been into sun gazing, according to the HRM protocols. I'm sure
Very
which you
cool.
have heard of.
Very cool. Yes. Awesome.
And since 2 years, I've been practicing grounding
Hmm.
and practicing some life away from radiation, and into fruitarianism. So it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm able to get rid of all the pain in my body. And I must really say that it's still a process, and I'm
Yes.
happy with what I'm doing. And in this process, I came to know about you because of your Breatharian Pranic Summit. You know, you have been fabulous, and you have been really inspiring me, because I've been following you maybe since more than 6 months. Oh no, I must say an year, in your global health and wellness group. And uh, I must say you had made a lot of impact on my life because of the way you treat each and everyone, how much you value your life, and how much you value each and every person who come into contact with you, and the time which you give each and everyone, and the kindness and love in which you treat each and every person. So uh, after coming into
Well, dropped a call. We dropped a call. We're going to be talking about the life of breatharianism today. Hopefully, we'll just get the vibrant spirit back here to begin our dialogue. But you know, the life of breatharianism is a life of less. It's a life of frequency. It's a life of vibration. See how much it parallels a lot of the teachings that are going on in the East, a lot of the Eastern philosophy, a lot of Buddhism, kind of, sort of alternative thought processes, the Bhagavad Gita, the natural laws, the Kabbalah. You know, I would, you know, inspire you, encourage you to look into some different frameworks and thoughts of mind. I'm not sure if the vibrant spirit is back here. If he is here, oh, looks like he's back. And hopefully we're going to have him joining again here. Yes, my brother. Not sure
Yes,
what
brother.
happened.
I don't know what really happened. I'm glad to be back here. And yes, after that, I'm into your private chat group as well. And every day I'm spreading out the message of love. And moreover, these days I'm practicing self-love, universal love, the attitude of good wishes, pure feelings towards the universe, towards the world. And I do believe that this world is a family, and it is important that we raise our vibration each and every day, because that's our responsibility as enlightened beings. And that is what Breatharianism is about. Breatharian is about less physicality and more spirituality. Um uh, Increasing the pranic life force, connecting yourself to the vital life force which
Yes.
emanates into this universe.
Yes, it's parallel. It's parallel, right? That these lifestyles are
Yes,
parallel lives. Like the life of a monk, the life of you know, tuning in and connecting to your spiritual energy, your inner energy. This is emotional healing. This is
yes,
energy healing. This is chakra healing. This is frequency and vibration healing. This is natural healing. This is natural health. It's all aligned. That it happens when we fast. It happens
yeah,
when we take things away. When we learn how to find peace and joy and happiness without this, without this, without this. And you know, it doesn't mean that we need to give everything up all at one time. We can be working on one thing at a time. But this is what it is it's really about learning how to let go of things that are external, and really determining what is going on internally that was really making me do that external thing anyways.
yes,
Right? It's solving the mental battle, the addiction, the mental addiction that was preceding the external, you know, representation of it, or the habit. Like the habit was just the final thing that I did. You know, before the habit there was the trigger. You know,
yes,
you're going to the drug dealer, or you're thinking about going to the drug dealer, and there's something why you were thinking about going to the drug dealer, or to the refrigerator, or to uh, the alcohol closet, like
yes,
wherever you're going to get it sexually, or shopping, or
yes,
you're just getting it from distraction from the screen, like just from escaping your reality and going into the screen. It's like you're not being present, you're not
true.
willing to sit and be by yourself, or be alone, or be with the thoughts that are going on inside of your head right here right now.
Yes, true. And that's why we are here for to talk on this beautiful topic of Breatharianism. I'm sure you are absolutely phenomenal in your Breatharian practice. And so I've got very interesting questions for you, starting with this pranic lifestyle. And there are a few questions. I thought this would be like an interview, because you are
Awesome.
the light.
Awesome, I love it.
Because I do believe that I I feel that you are part of my family, my brother, and you are the right one to guide us into this Breatharianism and this pranic lifestyle. So, um brother, so can you just describe what exactly is prana and what are the sources of prana?
So prana is natural energy. Prana is nature's energy. Prana is the true energy.
Yes,
It's the authentic energy, right? And the human has been programmed and fooled by its experience in the world, by its physical experience in the world. That nourishment, we've been educated in this way. That nourishment is meat and potatoes. That nourishment is get big and strong by eating the heavy food. That's where you get your energy. This is what the human has been educated into believing, that energy is calories, macronutrients. It's
yes,
something that we can measure and we can quantify, and you can get an education that makes you a superior nutrition teacher, and then you have the superior nutrition knowledge, and then you can tell other people that they should eat more meat and rice and potatoes and essential fats. This is the nutrition process. Like, we go to school to learn to eat these things and get our energy this way. This is how we get our energy. This is what we are told. And the
yes,
human is educated this way, but this is not the authentic energy or the authentic nourishment. And it's a miseducation that's happened to the human over hundreds of years, that's moved them from how they were more in their original state. In their more original state, human wasn't eating 3, 4, 5 times a day.
yes. It's true.
And
What?
and so when we start to feed the human more appropriately, the way that he was supposed to be fed, and especially after the miseducation and the addiction to cooked and processed foods that's happened over the last 100 years at least, but very much over the last 100 years, because of all of that damage that's been done to the body. uh, the human needs more than anything to really just empty out this body. And in the process of emptying out the body will become accustomed again to surviving and recognizing and flourishing on the prana, which is just within the human. Now, once the human starts to unfood, take away some of the more cooked, processed, more dense foods out of their life, the human will start to say, hey, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because they had all of these ideas in mind about starvation, starving themselves, and how awful that was going to be. But until they actually engage with the practice of taking away some of the food, and then they break through and see the truth that, hey, there's a sustenance there that they never knew about. And they slip into a new energy and a new finding that they never heard of before. Oh my gosh, you know what? I actually felt better not eating breakfast, or I actually felt better not eating lunch. And people come back with like, wow, the experience, like, it changed me. I felt the difference. And really, this is the natural human reset. Is that,
Yes,
once the human gets, agitated by foods, by taking in the wrong foods for many years, and gets addicted to that process, that the way for the human to come back to balance and nature, and to restore balance and nature in the body, is to take away the food.
As simple as that. Yes.
It's to take things away. It's to stop
Mm,
doing things, that we start to feel and find something different within us. And that thing that's inside of us, that different thing inside, the breatharians call prana. In India, it's referred to very much as prana, and many of the practice of in many spiritual practice in prana in India, but in other parts of Asia, we call it chi. Like there's Tai Chi,
Tai
right? The
Chi, yeah,
the Tao,
Qigong.
right? Qigong. The Taoists refer to it as Qi. Many times you may hear about the energy of Kundalini. In yoga,
Yes.
they talk about
Yeah.
the Kundalini energy, right?
Yes.
In
Yeah.
the scripture, they talk about um, the bread, the manna, the manna. That the Christians were able to survive on the manna, like something that was nourished from heaven. It's like the heaven food. It's like the spiritual nourishment. It's like an
Yes.
inner nourishment. It's like a more
Yes.
subtle force, but it is the natural force. It is
Yes.
the nature's fury. It's nature's power. And it's so powerful, yet so subtle and silent and quiet, that we can't find it or realize it or identify it or connect with it until maybe we've taken a little bit of a break from the coffee and alcohol and stimulants and drugs and medications and sexual activity that we're engaging with, so that we can start to recognize something else, some other impulses other than these impulses, addictive impulses that have overridden the prana, which is just a silent, still energy that kind of runs beneath all things within the being. It's the consciousness. It's the
Yes.
backdrop of human life. It's the backdrop of human experience. It's what's running in the background. It's connecting
Yes.
to the ground. It's earthing. It's connecting to the resonance of the earth. It's the vibration of nature. It's love. It's unconditionally loving.
Yes.
It's unconditional love. This is what the prana is. It's unconditional love. It's practicing unconditional love and kindness. It's practicing higher self things or higher frequency things. It's the practice of engaging with the prana and utilizing the prana and working with the prana that has the being freed, healed, changed, evolved from interaction with the prana, purified from an engagement with the prana. It's by dialogue and relationship with this universal force that the human is prepared to live without food. The human is prepared to live without water. The human is prepared to live or do anything that the human wants to do.
Yes. I do agree, brother. So you have brought this very uh, important point of addictions to coffee, addictions to salt, maybe sugar, because when we start to realize that we need to cut off the food, there comes the problem of this cravings, food cravings. And this is maybe the battle which all the aspiring Breatharians and even the ones who are fasting or who are just in the process of food holiday or unfooding are encountering this problem. So now I want to know about your journey on how you just fought these cravings, addictions, and what is your suggestion or message to the ones who are battling these cravings, addictions, and the dark energies inside. Over to you, John.
Yes, the food cravings and all of the addictions, and coming off of coffee or alcohol or fast food or plenty of sex, like reducing,
Yes,
scaling back the sexual encounters and engagements in your life,
even the even the
minimizing
pornography,
them.
masturbations.
Masturbation, pornography, yes, right. It's fasting. It's bringing these all things down to less.
Yes.
And you don't need to be perfect. And this is where I really want to say, yes, we are striving for perfection. Yes, absolutely. But in the process, we are human. And
Yes.
we must be kind and gentle with ourselves. We must learn how to be kind and gentle with ourselves. So practicing love and kindness with ourselves first of all, right? And saying, okay, it's accepting things. Okay, I am accepting that I have a coffee addiction. I'm accepting I'm smoking too much marijuana, drinking too much alcohol, eating too much rice, potatoes, breads, pizza, cake, too much fast food. I'm having too much sex. I'm not in committed relationships. It's admitting it. It's accepting it. It's making yourself vulnerable. It's putting yourself out there. It's saying it. It's making yourself accountable to someone. It's saying, hey, I need to what in Christianity they go in Catholicism they go to um, a priest and they share all of their sins.
Yes.
There's something when you come to another, when two or more come together, when we come together in service together, we're sharing in relationship. When two or more come together, there is a greater force there.
Yes.
There is a healing force that comes together in relationship. When two or more come together, love, two. It takes
Two.
two to create life.
Like. Yes.
Two together have the power together to break something or change something. So for one to come to the other and say, hey, look, I'm having this problem, making yourself vulnerable. I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with this problem. This is a darkness in my life. This is a sadness in my life. This is a sorrow in my life. This is a trouble in my life. This is something that's bothering me, brother. I'm having this and this problem with my son, my daughter, my lover, my career, my finances. I'm having this trouble. And I'm recognizing this thing about myself. I'm eating too much, or I recognize I'm eating too much rice, potatoes, pasta, drinking too much Coca-Cola. Brother, I need to stop doing this. So when I profess
Yes.
this to you, this is accountability. I'm saying, listen, this is my trouble. I'm putting my shadow out. I'm bringing it to the light. I'm exposing it to you. Brother, this is my darkness. This is my pain. This is my sorrow, my lament. Here it is. And you're saying, okay, brother, I see it. I understand. I understand your lament. I understand. Let's I'm sorry for your trouble, brother, but let's think and talk about doing something good. Let's not do that next week.
Yes.
And then we try not to do that next week, and then we meet again a week later for our accountability time and we talk about it. How did you do, brother? Oh, I did this, and then my kids did this, and then I ate something. We talk about what caused it. We talk about the reasons why. We talk about what happened, what triggered you to eat it. You know, we have to understand what is causing these things, right? So, you know, along the way to breatharianism, you are not going to become a breatharian but just by making a decision. You have to devote yourself to that lifestyle. You're not going to randomly live without food.
Yes.
The body needs to be prepared to live without food. You're going to have to get used to living without food. You're going to have to do 1, 2, 3 day fasts, 4, 5 day fasts. You're going to have to repeat these things many, many times because you're preparing yourself, your body and mind, to live this way.
For, for the higher energies.
Yes, and in the process of fasting, you're finding contact with the prana. You're developing a new relationship with the prana. Over the time, you're developing a new relationship with the prana. until your relationship with the prana is so personal that even if you eat, you can still feel contact with the source. So at this point, it doesn't matter if you eat or you don't. The breatharian is free when he can eat or not eat.
Yes. It's not about the physical thing. It's
It's
just that.
it's just the food freedom is what we need to come to a point, is when the food is not taking control of me anymore. And
Okay.
then if you want to eat, you're eating with your family. If you want to eat,
Yeah.
it's Christmas or a holiday. It's your birthday. You're with. This is what people do. So you know, uh, the practice of breatharianism. Bless the practice of breatharianism. Bless the practice of breatharianism. But along the way to becoming a breatharian, it is a practice of eating, unfooding yourself through eating. And what we're doing is we're starting to eat less of the cooked and processed foods and moving to more live food. This is
Yes.
lighter foods. We're moving to lighter foods. Less meat and starch, less protein and fat and starch, less big chain molecules. Starch is a big chain molecule, a
Yes.
glucose chain. Protein is an amino acid chain. Fatty acids are a chain of molecules. These are big, heavy foods that require big digestion. They require bile. They require digestive work. The digestive system, the gallbladder, the liver, the kidney, the stomach, the intestines, all of these organs are drawing on energy and nourishment in order for you to feed yourself and nourish yourself from food, from physical food. Now, when you start moving towards prana as your nourishment, and you start relying less on these physical foods, and you start finding more nourishment from the prana, from practicing this, the prana you become you develop a new relationship with the prana, that the prana begins to grow inside of you. And it's to develop a relationship so intimate and personal with the prana that you can stay in contact with it all of the time. That
Yes.
prana, the energy channels in the body open through the practice of fasting, that the prana becomes more free and available to move through the body. That this is what happens as we practice and as the prana begins to grow. As our
Yes, brother.
relationship grows with the prana and the prana begins to grow within us, then we have a more personal relationship with it. Then it doesn't matter as much if we have something to eat, right? So we stop getting too obsessed about the fact that we have something to eat sometimes. So sometimes a lot of the problems with craving are a little
Yes.
bit of an obsession.
Yes.
Like we're actually even so upset with ourselves when we eat. Yeah,
Yes.
we really need to find some peace and kindness with ourselves, for ourselves, for the times when we eat.
Yeah.
Once we can find some peace with the times when we eat, then we're not getting upset with ourselves all of the time. And as soon as we get upset with ourselves because we've made a mistake, then we're berating ourselves with negative energy and shadow energy. And so we have to learn how to kind of have some sort of peace with the fact that, eating is a part of the process. So it, don't force yourself so much, right? At times we practice the force. We have to practice it. It's a part of the breatharianism. I'm trying to fast for a day. I'm trying to fast for 2 days. I'm trying to fast for 3 days. I think if the breatharian is practicing this 1, 2, 3, 4 day fasts and repeating them and practicing and allowing themselves to take a little bit of a break and relax and renourish. Because really, my finding with it has been, you've got to engage with this for a lifetime. And you've got to
Yes,
develop
it's true.
something that is really serving and nurturing you for a lifetime. So,
Yeah,
so you know, I'm not ready to live beyond food yet. I hope to one day. It's a goal of mine.
it's a
But
process. Yes,
but until I am ready for that, until that calling comes up within me, like it's not something that you just think and decide, I want to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to force it. Like you can't force it.
it happens
You
naturally.
develop it. You
Yes,
develop it, and then as you develop it, you end up eating less and less and less and cheating less and less and less, and those things happen less and less and less, and you get more and more control of yourself as you practice it, not by doing something specific to make yourself overcome it. No, through the habit, through the behavior, through the practice that is arrived upon. Does that explain cravings a little bit, brother?
yeah, you're right. Um, now, I've seen many because I've been into this community, and there have been people who complain of weakness, and they do get depressed. So this is just a phase. I do agree. Uh, so, um, h- what is your suggestion on how to deal with this sometimes? Because uh, it happens with everyone. Maybe it happens with me as well. Um,
Me as well, brother.
okay, so because of the addictions to the solid food, sometimes uh, because of the deep-rooted tendencies of chewing, and so it happens that we are trying to get into the contact with the prana, but on the in particular phases, um, so it doesn't happen. We do
We
get
feel
depressed
detached. We
sometimes.
feel detached. Yes, we
We
feel
feel detached.
separated. We feel separate.
So,
Yes. We feel alone.
so we feel alone, yes, because
Yes.
Breatharian journey is about being alone. This is a journey where we are loners sometimes. Sometimes,
It's an inner practice, right? It's being with
it
yourself,
yes, it is
developing
being with the
yourself.
self,
Yes, it's an
developing
inner
yourself.
practice, right? it's
It
it's
is,
it's a it's an inner work, and it's getting comfortable with yourself
yes,
as you
and
are, accepting yourself as you are, right? And accepting
yes,
yourself as you are, we have to recognize that as we are joy and happiness, yes, but we also have sadness and sorrow in us too.
yes,
And
we do.
just like a day is sun and moon, a day is light and dark, just like that is whole. A day is whole. Just like a whole year has spring, summer, and fall and winter, that there are seasons.
Yes, it's a
Uh,
cycle.
it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yes,
And recognizing that, you know, the whole me, all of me, is
yes,
this and this. It's
yeah,
happiness and shadow and sorrow. And recognizing that life is this. Life is hot and cold.
yeah,
It's not hot or cold,
yeah.
right? It's like, we're trying to run away from the cold. I'm in Canada here. Many people here want to run away from the cold. It's really to
The winter
recognize
is
that
horrible there. Yes, I see
it's
you. You're enjoying the cold, enjoying the ice in your videos.
Brother, we can
Yeah.
only try, right? Try our best. But really, it's to recognize that there's no difference between our human moments.
Mm.
This is the truth, is that human wakes up and human is sleeping, he's unconscious. He wakes up and he's eating and he's breathing. He's washing and he's breathing. He's sleeping, he's walking, he's moving around, he's breathing.
Yes.
And really this is the only difference. Human is moving, or human is sitting, or human is eating, or human is shopping. It's he's still just moving and breathing, or sitting and
Yes.
breathing, or laying and breathing. This is what the human
Yes.
is doing. And really, the only difference is what the human is thinking while they're going through any of these experiences. And this is what's determining if the human is having a good time or a bad time.
Yes.
Truly, every moment is the same time.
Every moment is the
Wherever
same.
wherever you are in the world, truly wherever you are, it's the same time, and it's just as much a time as good a time, right? And it's the human that doesn't recognize the goodness in their time.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we are lamenting, brother. We are in lament. We're in, poor me. I'm on my fast and I'm dealing with some shadow emotions that are coming up, and I'm feeling some sadness, some sorrow, some frustration, some embarrassment. I'm feeling some loss, some fear, some anxiety. I'm feeling some depression. I'm feeling worry. And you're feeling it, and here you are feeling it, and here it is. And usually you would eat to cover these things up, or have a coffee, or get high, or have sex to cover these things up, but you're not. You're sitting in it, and you're being with it, and you're recognizing in it, and you're acknowledging it, and you're saying, here I am feeling the cold. Here I
Yes.
am sitting in the cold, sitting in the cold water. Life is cold
Yeah.
water. Life is warm water. Sitting in the cold water and saying, you know what? Life is cold.
Yeah.
Life is hot.
Yes.
Life is sometimes cold. And to sit in the cold and to flip the switch within the cold. This is the thing. To learn to sit in the cold and to say in the cold and say, yeah, it's cold. So what? It's okay. Like, I'm sad. So what? I'm mad. So what? Like, you don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to tell anyone about it. You just need to sit with sad or mad or frustrated and just sit with it. And here it is. Oh boy. Like, the alternative would be I'd be dead.
Yes.
That's the alternative to life.
Yeah.
You'd be dead. And then you wouldn't
Yeah.
feel this lament anymore. So, it's to flip the switch. I'm so lamenting. I'm lamenting. Oh, it's so troublesome. It's so troublesome. This thing is so troublesome. Or you can change and you can be like an eagle above your life, looking down from way up in the clouds, and you see there's many people down there, and they're all living a different life and all being in different places, and you can change your perspective and say, here I am lamenting my situation. And yes, I can be in it, poor me, whoa, poor me. Or I can flip the switch in it and I can say, yes, but you know what? I have life. And with my life, I can do something else, or I can do something more. And I tune myself to what I'm going to move to next. I begin to think and speak about what's next. Like, you've been through the sadness. Like, that's the worst. Like, you've seen the saddest. Like, I went to the saddest part of my life, and I sat there and I felt it. And then once you felt like the saddest, baddest, ugliest, scariest, shittiest part of yourself, and you go in there and you say, yeah, so what? So what? It hurts. So what? It's cold. So what? It's dark. So what? It's scary. So what? So what? If you shift your perspective, it's scary. Change your
It is.
perspective. Change your perspective. Look at it this way. All things here happen first in my mind. Before anything can happen here in my reality, it has to happen in my mind. But as above, so below. The law of correspondence. We are we are images in the mind of the creative force. We are visions in the mind of God. Human first exists in the mind of God before he can come into physical reality. What do you think is in the mind of God that could harm you? What is in here, do you think, that could be forged against you? It's to change your perspective of your life. It's to change your perspective on your life. It's what we do. We get stuck in lament. Yes, we do. We all do it. But as you get more skilled at thought process, if you start to learn different thought processes, if you start to see different thought processes, then you become more skilled working with other people's thought processes. And then you get more skilled. You're learning to even recognize your own thought processes more quickly, more quickly. You're able to see your own lament. Here I go again. And even be in your lament and accept it. That is the first step. It's like to
That's very important step.
sit with the shit, to sit with the doo-doo between your toes and say, okay, I stepped in the shit and I'm gonna clean it up.
We need to.
I'm just gonna clean it up
Yes.
and make it better. That's okay. It's okay. We cry a little bit and then, hey, it's okay. I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna get through it. This is what happens. This is how the healing goes. This is how the body heals. This is how we heal shadow emotional stuff. This is how we deal with the shadow. We got to be vulnerable and talk about it, though. We got to have a dialogue. We got to have a relationship with it. And it doesn't happen like this. It happens over time, in relationship, over time, that we can talk about it, make yourselves accountable to it, and say, okay, well, what happened? Why did it happen? And talk about the trigger and talk about it. It comes out over time. I shared with you a story about me overcoming a loss of my mother. My mother died when I was 19.
Yeah, we
And
talked
and
about it.
and,
Yes.
and it took me till I was 45 before I was able to uncover that lament that was inside of me. Like I didn't even realize that I had, subconsciously put that energy deep, hid that energy inside of me. Sometimes we get traumatic events in our life when we have deep, deep loss, like parental loss,
Which happened
sibling,
with me. Just
parental loss, brother.
I'm battling the same thing. My father passed away just 3 months ago. It had a deep impact on me. It still has. I do agree. Yes. Yes, John.
So these are big chords, brother. These are big energetic chords in the being, right? Personal energy, primary relationship, secondary relationship, career, finances, future goals, reciprocity, what you want to give back, mother, father, brother, sister. These are big chords in a person's life. These relationships, the way we think about these aspects of ourself and our life, have deep rooted prana channels that must be opened. And until you make the decisions, they are not open. and you don't have access to that energy because you haven't opened that channel. And over time in your life, you open up these channels by making these decisions. I'm gonna open a business, or I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have children. I'm gonna raise children. I'm gonna uh, grow something. I'm gonna make something. I'm gonna accomplish something. I'm gonna do something with my life. When you start to think and speak like this, the spirit within you is ignited. And when you speak like this over time, that spirit grows. It's nourished over
That
time
makes sense.
and depth. It happens. It comes. Seek it, brother. Seek it. You will find it, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. It's very clear. So we need to have a dialogue with the self. We need to embrace the shortcomings. We need to work on the shadow energies. We need to be resilient on in this beautiful journey. So that's really fantastic. That really makes sense, brother.
Commitment, brother.
So
Commitment and
commitment,
recommitment. Recommitment. Devotion.
recommitment.
Commitment and recommitment and devotion. This is how we become a breatharian.
Yes,
This is
yes,
how we
yes.
free ourselves. This is how we learn how to love ourselves. It's not by complaining and trying to find an answer from, it's not an answer. It's a habit. It's a
It's a habit.
behavior. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being. What are you practicing? Eating pizza or or eating nothing? It's your choice. What are you practicing? Whatever you're practicing, you're going to be good at it. If you
Yeah,
practice eating less, you're going to get good at it over time, not overnight. Over time and practice, just relax. You're going to get it. But settle down and find some peace and acceptance for things as they are right now. This is acceptance. This is forgiving yourself. This is forgiving the others. This is being present. These are all breatharian practices. Breath work, meditation, presence, focus,
unfolding.
attention. This is a practice, brother.
This is a practice, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of determination. So, how did you exactly begin with, John? I mean, is it with any particular detox protocol which you recommend us, uh,
So
or
you know, I'm encouraging people to move to a fasting lifestyle. I mean, this is the first practice, right? It's practicing to be fasting daily. This is the first thing. We have to start practicing going 14, 15, 16 hours without food. We starting here.
so, John? But is it essential to just get all the shit out of ourselves first before we enter into fasting, or is it okay if we just straight away enter into fasting, which is the question people have?
Yes, it's no worry at all to be into fasting. Like fasting is just the most healthiest thing that you can do for yourself. It
Okay.
stimulates autophagy inside of the body, which is cellular cleaning. It's cellular nourishing. It's cellular enriching. It's healing for the body to be fasting, and it needs to be a part of our practice. And at minimum, we need to get it to more time in empty. At
Yes,
minimum, we need to get it to more time in empty. So this is in a 24-hour day, 14 hours minimum emptiness. That's
without any water as well.
10 hours of eating. Less than this. If you can get it to 8 hours, if you can get it to 6 hours, if you can get it to 4 hours, if you can get your eating
Yes,
window to 2 hours, it's to shrink the number of hours that you're eating during your day. This is the practice. Shrink your nourishment time down
yeah,
as
yeah,
small as you can. Practice shrinking your nourishment time down as small as you can. And we do this with raw foods, with juices, with live fruits and juices, right? With lighter foods. And we try to put it into a smaller window and practice staying empty for a longer period of time. And we just, if 14 hours is enough, we stay there until we're inspired to do 15, until we're inspired to do 16, and then we're practicing 16. If each week we could practice one day where we're trying to go maybe a bigger push, 24 hours, 36 hours, once a week or once a month, we're trying to push. I encourage no food Monday. Every Monday, let's try and go 24 hours without solid food. This is my encouragement.
Yes, yeah. I'm always with you on Monday
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Monday
Start
for
again.
holiday.
People tend to eat more on the weekend. It's just kind of the natural rhythm of life.
Yep.
Like, except this is
Yes.
how life is. So, Monday is a great day to get started again. It's back to
Mm.
work. It's like we think it important enough to go and to work and pay our bills. Well, why don't we work on our goals on Monday? Well, isn't it your
Yeah,
goal to eat healthy? Well, why do you go to work and pay your bills, but you don't pay yourself? And then you wonder
absolutely.
why after 5 or 10 years or 15 or 20 years you're bankrupt emotionally and you're unhappy with yourself in your life because you haven't paid any commitment or dedication or practice to yourself and your goals. Just like you get up and go to work on Monday, you get up and you put your fasting pants on. You're back to it. You're back
Yes.
to it. I'm back to trying my best to eat my best. Lighter foods, less foods, live foods, fruits and juices. Emptiness, 14 plus hours a day. Trying to stay empty, right? This is the practice.
So is it just important to have less dense fruits or any sort of fruits which you specifically recommend, like juicy, watery vegetables, fruits,
It
whatever?
is wonderful that the juicier fruits are wonderful. If you can get live coconuts and live coconut water, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful waters and nourishment. But truly, it's really just fruits. Like all fruits. Like as long as you're eating fruits and vegetables, I say you're doing a great job. But yeah, if you can get grapes and melons and berries, watery fruits, if you can get oranges and citrus, and if you can make raw juices, green juices, get yourself a juicer. Get into the juicing lifestyle. I tell people it's the first foods, it's the first thoughts, it's the first words, it's the first things that you do to begin your day that make the most impact in your life. Like get up and start your day with the
Mm.
best first thoughts, the best first words, and the best first foods. And I would recommend raw juices, like
Or juices, light
raw
juices.
juices, or water with a squeeze of lemon or lime inside of it. Like you put something live into the water, like energize your water. Use clean water and energize your water. I recommend using distilled water and energize
Mm.
or reinvigorate that water with fruits or vegetables. Put fruits or vegetables inside of that juice or water. Put some live energy inside of that water because water in in reality is clean, is distilled, and it's energetic. It's in a cycle. It's in a
Yes.
live natural cycle. Like the precipitation is it's evaporation, it's cooling, condensation, it's raining, it's cooling, condensation, raining. This is the cycle of precipitation. This is the natural cycle. And
Yes.
this natural cycle has the water in contact with the earth, and the earth contact puts an energy into the water. The
So,
light contact puts an energy into the water. So we
mm,
need
yeah.
energy, we need energized water or live water. That is distilled water that's in a fruit or a vegetable. Or
Yes.
you can take distilled water and put a fruit or vegetable in it,
Mm. Okay.
right?
So
Or you can,
we need, is it that we need to purchase the distilled water from the pharmacies, or is the groundwater is fine? Uh,
spring water would be my second choice. If you could get distilled water, awesome. If you can get distilled
okay.
water. Now I recommend people to get a distiller. Is what I recommend. Get a home distiller. It costs about $150 and you've got distilled water at home. Then I would add fruits or vegetables to that water. Right?
I do practice putting sun-charged water, if you're familiar
Yes,
with,
if you put it in the sun, this is
in the
charging the
glass
water.
jars.
If you put
Yes,
the
in the glass
jars in the
jar.
sunlight, this is energizing the water. So I have a hydrogen water bottle. So I
I
energize my water with hydrogen because it's hydrogen rich water. That's what's nature's water, H3.
H3.
Structured water is H3. H2O is regular water. H3O is structured water. So that's
Okay.
energy rich water or live water. That's the water that's in fruits or vegetables. Structured water. Distilled water, structured water. Because the rain is distilled water. And
Yes.
the tree pulls the distilled water out of the ground. And
Mm.
then the tree takes the light of the sun and energizes the water from H2 to H3 from the light of the sun. So
From the
in the
light of the
light
sun.
and puts that into the fruit and creates a live fruit. So the water that's within the body, the water that's in something that's alive, has contact with a physical living thing. This water is H3, hydrogen rich or structured water. This is a
Structured
special
water.
type of water that's within a living cycle, within a living being. Like the earth cycle of water in the lake, earth is alive. And
Yes,
the
that's
water
true.
cycle that's here is a life-giving cycle that the water is in. The water needs to be in a life-giving cycle. It cannot be the water from the tap. It cannot be
Yes.
tap water. It cannot be chlorinated water. It cannot be fluoridated water. It cannot be drug-filled water, right? It is best if it is distilled water, and it is best if the distilled water can be reinvigorated by a fruit or a vegetable or put into something that puts the energy back into the water. That would be like a hydrogen machine.
So, is it now? That's really interesting because you've given a lot of clarity on this water. Because I was myself planning on asking questions regarding the distilled water, because you often prescribe the structured water, the hydrogen water, and even in many of the columns, the articles which you have been writing on the page and the group as well, in the chat group. Uh, you asked us on refraining ourselves from the tap water. So, I live in certain part of area where it is very dry, and we just unfortunately have the access to the tap water. So, is it okay if I get this tap water and put it in a jar, charge it in the sun? Does it do the
Yes.
same
Yes,
thing?
this would be wonderful. This would be the best thing to do, brother. This would be the best thing to do. And it's always to
Okay.
do the best thing that you can do, right? Now,
Okay. Yeah.
is it would it be something possible for you to get a distiller? Like, can you buy through Amazon? Can you shop through Amazon?
I will just look into this definitely, because uh, I'm really motivated to get this distilled water, to have this distilled water.
I would encourage you to do that if you could do that. I would encourage you
Okay.
to do
Okay.
that if you could do that. If you can find a way to get a distiller, I would encourage that. But until then, I like it. Put it in bottles, put it in the sunlight. Take a squeeze, cut up a lemon, put a squeeze of lemon inside.
And you say that you need to put the lemon inside the water and put it in the sun. Is it that way?
That you could do it that way, or I would just put the water in the sun, and when I serve it, I would put it in a glass and cut a lemon and put it inside the glass.
You may even put the cucumber inside it as well.
Yes, put a cucumber inside. Yes,
Yeah, it's called alkaline water.
Yes, cut up a little bit of cucumber and put it inside your or grapes or whatever fruit, or some celery
Fruit.
or some carrots or fruit or vegetable, something that brings life, charge,
Yes,
energy, alkalinity. Wonderful. A lemon. Put something that brings life and charge into the water. That
yes.
reinvigorates, brings life back to the water, and trying to
Fantastic.
restore natural balance in our water, in our mind, in our body, in our nutrition, in our lives, in our relationships. It's love for self and love for all others. This is the practice of breatharianism.
Yes, yes, brother. But here we are talking about fruits in addition to the distilled water, which is a really great thing. But because of the massive populations, people, are spraying pesticides, insecticides on the fruits. But unfortunately, these are the only thing which we are getting access to the hybrid stuff.
I
Uh,
don't have perfect fruits, brother. I don't have all organic, perfect fruits either, brother. I don't have my fruits are coming from the same spray, pesticides, garbage that they're doing to meat here too. This is the life. I just try my best to do what I can with what I can. I don't strain myself this way. I make sure I'm eating fruits, brother. Just as long as
yes.
I'm eating fruits, I wash my fruits. I do the best I can with what I have.
Yes, yes,
This
yes.
is my way.
That's it is the question. Uh, Now, because I'm in the private chat group, I've been always active in the group, and there is one sister who was just bringing it in the group that she has been a fruitarian since a couple of years. Maybe she has been a practitioner of fruitarianism since 2 years, and she was complaining still of weakness. So, is it down to the parasites in her body?
She's still complaining about the weakness. Did you say?
Yes, yes, yes. I think you might have seen in the group. I don't know. I'm not sure because
So
there
you're
are
saying
many.
what? And when you're saying complaining about the weakness, do you mean like you're kind of dealing with depression or worry or fear or shadow energy problems,
Shadow
pains,
energies.
aches, pains, problems, things that come up as we're healing. And I
Yeah.
just want to say, yes, like a couple of years is nothing unusual.
Okay.
A couple of years to practice this detoxification process is nothing unusual. If you are over, you know, 40, over 50, you're looking at a couple of years. You're looking at 2 to 5 years.
Takes that long. So, is there any way to get rid of these parasites? Like, I've been into things and I've been reading about herbs a little, but I'm not sure. Uh, because I can say that I'm not sure whether to take those herbs or not because I do have
I
this
use
wheatgrass
lots of
juice.
herbs. I use lots of herbs. I use lots of herbs and lots of supplements and lots of things over the time.
Okay, can
I
you
would
name them?
encourage you. I would encourage you to look into herbs. And any herbs that are available to you. Like things came into my circle, things came into my life that I used at different times, and different plant medicines came into my life at different times at different things. It's always healing with plants, like different plants, different herbs, different things can be helpful, and we cycle these things. Um, Hydrogen peroxide would be something, uh, if you can get to something very healing. Hydrogen peroxide.
H2O2.
Yes,
Yes. So, in what way would you recommend to consume this hydrogen peroxide?
dripping that into your water, but really starting, with really small dosing with that product. I mean, there are lots of herbs and things that you can get to as well too. Um, you know, stuff to kind of sit and talk about, more in a more personal setting if you wanted to mention some things and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
things personally this way. But I encourage all fruits and vegetables and plants, like, to experiment with all fruits and vegetables and plants. It's not like you're gonna take an herb or a vegetable or a plant, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is the plant that you just take, and as soon as you take it, everything in your life is going to be fixed. Like, get out of that idea.
Okay, okay, okay.
Like that there's just something you need to take, and all of a sudden your whole life is going to be changed. Like, this kind of idea needs to go. Like, we need to get into the practice, the habit, the behavior, the lifestyle of this is what does it.
I do have I do take this wheatgrass juice, which is rich in chlorophyll, and
Raw
uh,
juices.
raw juice, which is really rich in chlorophyll, which is live enzymes, and so greens in addition to fruits. Now, does this act as the
Awesome.
astringent,
raw
like
juices, raw juices, smoothies, fruits, vegetables,
mm,
herbs, plants of all kinds, plants, medicines, life force, healing the
life
body with
force?
fruits and vegetables and life force energies, all fruits and juices, wonderful. Green juice, spirulina, whatever you like for juices, wonderful, great, awesome, it's
I
going
do
to help,
have I do have
wonderful.
this coriander, spinach sometimes, and with in addition to cucumber, I do have this fruit juices as well, but not mixing fruits and vegetables. I'll be just having them individually because
Yeah, I mean that's best if you can, keep them apart. But even if you make a little mistake, don't even kill yourself. Like, I mean, it's doing your best, right? If you
yeah,
make a
yeah, yeah.
mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We do our best. We do our best.
Yes, brother. Yes. So now Ali Tomil, I mean, who is a Breatharian. Uh, so I was just listening to him the other day that he was talking about the muscle building, and so it says that the energies are stored in the muscle in the body. Of course, you are a built man. You built muscles by yourself. So, uh, do you recommend any specific workouts for the breatharian practitioners, for the aspirants, in order to build the muscle? Because we are not the ones to take the protein, because protein is a myth, which these aspirants know, as you have been discussing with Aline Habib the other day as well. I've been looking into the talk because the proteins, the dense foods, we
Now,
need to
this is the
eradicate
thing
those
with the
things.
proteins. If you really want to build a lot of muscle bulk, like, I mean, if you're talking about, you know, Olympics, if you're talking about the NFL, if you're talking about the NBA, if you're talking about, you know, being a competitive bodybuilder, then yeah, you're talking about eating those meat proteins, animal proteins. That's what's going to make your muscles big like that. But if you're just talking about general health and wellness, if you just want to be happy,
Yes.
healthy, and well, like
Mm,
it's
mm,
not an overconsumption of protein that's required, and actually no focus on protein is required at all if you're just looking for general health. We
yeah,
really need to
yeah.
just focus on fruits and vegetables, and you'll get all of the amino acids there. Now, if you really did want to put some more bulk on, then it would be to put more of the vegan lifestyle is what I encourage people that are trying to, if you would like to bulk up a little bit and still maintain your health and be healthy, I would encourage the vegan lifestyle where
Yes.
you're using some quinoa and some starch, some rice and potato and sweet potato, and you're using some vegan proteins and some hummus and some nuts and beans, peanut butter. You're getting
Yeah.
into a little bit more avocado, a little bit more heavier foods, right? Like the breatharian is really trying to move to a really finer existence, a lighter food, and
Lighter foods.
at this point, the breatharian is kind of saying the physical is a little bit more secondary for me,
Mm,
right? This is the breatharian choice. The
yes.
physical is a little bit less important to me, and I'm moving away from that physicalness, and I'm letting go of that physical body and just kind of allowing that physical body to kind of be and just become what it must or should or what it is to be. And then the muscle builder is trying to, if I was going to encourage muscle builder that wants to be fit and healthy, I would say I would encourage the vegan lifestyle. You know,
Okay.
and move into the vegan lifestyle. Look at the vegan lifestyle if you want to be more muscular. If you want to be more muscular, look at the vegan lifestyle. I'm always recommending a body calisthenic, a body movement, qigong, tai chi type of movement, yoga type of
Okay.
practice, some sort of energetic movement, some sort of fitness, some sort of wellness, some sort of energy cultivation, some sort of energy building practice. There has to be some sort of physical commitment, some sort of devotion to yourself and to the practice of generating your own energy for the day. Like, what am I doing today to rise up my energy physically, mentally, emotionally? How am I nourishing myself? I'm nourishing myself with my food, with what I'm thinking and saying, and with my movement. Right? So I need to address my food. I need to address the nourishment of my thoughts and words, and I need to adjust my nourishment with my actions physically daily. These are my commitments. I need to do my sitting practice. I need to do my meditations. So, really, these are all parts of the practice. These are things that are coming into the lifestyle on a daily basis. And we're becoming more and more accustomed to these things. And as we engage with these things, the frequency and vibration of the body rises and rises and rises. And as it rises, the shadow, the sadness, the sorrow is released, is let go,
Is released.
is
Is
released,
let
is
go.
let go, and it comes up. As I bring up my frequency and vibration, that shadow comes out, it's exposed.
It's exposed because our aura is growing on, is
We're
lighting up.
growing, we're
The energy
aspiring
field
for
is
more.
growing up.
Yes, we're growing, it's growing, yes.
So, do you think the practice of Tai Chi and Qigong would suffice?
Tai Chi and Qigong would suffice. If you're looking to build muscle, then maybe you're going to want to do something that's got a little bit more of the Western muscle building type of movement to it as well too, right? So
No, it's in fact it's only about just uh, getting educated myself. It's not about muscle building. I'm not passionate about that.
right, but
I'm
for
not into that
but for
actually.
viewers, that may be considering or wondering how this whole thing comes together, that may be,
Yes.
yes, qigong, yes, tai chi, yes, yoga, or
Hmm.
yes, also Western exercise, or even,
Yes.
tennis or walking or jogging and flexibility. Like, you want to be a full body type of movement. You want to be a
Yeah.
full body type of exercise, something that stimulates all of you, right?
All of
Something
you.
that it's
Yes.
it's like we used to have recess here. We used to go to school and have recess, and it was the best time of the day. Kids would play, and you'd play sports, and you'd be active and nimble and quick and play and free play. And this is gone. Once you become an adult, you're paying the bills, right? Like, we get stuck paying the bills. Now, what this movement practice needs to be is it needs to be your creative free play time for the day. And it really needs to be like your recess.
Yeah.
It needs to be like, oh, this is like my practice. Oh, I get to practice. Oh
With a lot
wow,
of enthusiasm.
this is the one, this is the gift. Oh my goodness, look, I get to practice. Here I am, my
Yes.
life. Oh, thank goodness, the practice.
Yes. 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 Man, that's why
Enthusiasm. Right.
the
This is it.
enthusiasm. That is
Enthusiasm.
why I do just this. I do the gazing, this and gazing. I do this practice of the Qigong, which our common friend Jesse Tree does. He still looks more energetic with Qigong, Jesse. So yeah, because I've been watching your exercise videos, so I thought whether a practitioner of breatharianism must undergo this. That's why I was a bit enthusiastic to ask this
Not
question.
absolutely necessary, but if you would like, this is a wonderful practice. Join me for my Sunday morning exercise. Join me for my
Yes,
right. Join me for my practice. Like, I am practicing breatharianism. I'm practicing energy lifting. This is what I'm doing. Join me. I do it on Sundays in my class, in my group, in my private group.
certainly,
Join my private group. Get into my community, right? Get into my
certainly.
lifestyle. Practice with me. This is a
Yes, brother.
self-love practicing. Be a
It would
love
be massive
brother
pleasure.
in my community.
Yes.
Be in my community and practice breatharianism, practice fasting, practice healing, practice building relationship with self and others. Just practice along with me, right?
Yes, yes, yes. True, true. And now the important thing which you constantly mention is about conscious breathing. So yes, the conscious breathing. Is there any specific uh, way should a Breatharian practice, particularly the ones who are celibates, in which way they need to practice this breathing? Sometimes like square breathing, or sometimes nose breathing, deep breathings. Do you suggest anything, or just conscious breathing would suffice? It's just to get, it's just to educate the viewers regarding the breathing.
You know, obviously there would be some, breatharian breath work masters that would have far more experience than me, and
Like
I'm
Wim
just,
Hof, maybe.
yes, Wim Hof, breath work style people that have done way more breath work than me, but I really just try to stress the point that I I found my way here from being a trainer, a coach for 30 years. And
Yes, brother.
truly, one of the big gifts of my life, it has been that I have been active and moving every single day. This has been the gift of my life. Like every day I'm up and active and moving and trying
Yes.
to encourage others to get active and up and moving. So when I'm up and moving, I'm breathing, I'm moving oxygen through my body. So I have benefited from a lifetime of this. This has benefited me. Conscious breathing, being aware of my breaths daily has enriched my day. I've found nothing but um, a true direct proportional relationship between the number of conscious breaths you take in a day and how happy and healthy you and satisfied and fulfilled you feel at the end of your day. If you actually become aware of your breaths, if you start watching your breath, if you take a day and practice just watching your breath all day long, just see how rewarded you feel at the end of your day. Just practice it and see, right? First, I
Yes.
would just
True.
say this story first. And I would just say, just to be conscious of your breathing. We get up into the mind, we get stuck in the mind, we get stuck in being right, we get stuck in fights, fighting with our partner, fighting with our children, fighting with our jobs, fighting with our finances, fighting with our future, fighting with problems that we've got with the government and whatever else is going on in the world. Uh, this is the fight, the human struggle, is being stuck in the mind, and,
Yes.
and and the only way to leave the mind is through a sense door, a sensual door. There's 5 sense doors. You can leave the mind only through sight, sound, hearing, touch, tactile, smell. These are the ways to leave the mind. If you stand and look at the Grand Canyon, you're not being critical of the Grand Canyon. You're not fighting with the Grand Canyon. You're just in awe of it. You're in observation of it. And this is the thing. The human has to come out of critical mind, analysis, problem solving. Human has to come out of problem solving mind and come down into consciousness, into awe, into observation of the life.
Yeah.
To come out of I have this problem, and come into, oh my gosh, thank goodness I have this problem. To switch from I have this problem to gratitude for life. This is a
That's a
shift
wonderful
of
practice.
perspective. This is a shift of perspective, right? To practice gratitude, to practice movement, to practice breathing. to practice something other than what you're currently doing. What are you currently doing? You're practicing something. You're eating pizza and going to work and drinking coffee and eating donuts, and that's your practice, and coming home and fighting with the traffic and yelling at the kids and making dinner and eating a steak, and this is your practice. If that's what you're
Yes.
practicing, then you're going to have a result from that. And if you change your
Yes.
practice and you start practicing conscious breathing, and you start practicing gratitude, and you start practicing sitting and contemplating yourself, and thinking over what happened yesterday, and thinking and speaking about what you want to create, your goals. You start thinking and talking about your goals. If this becomes your practice, movement and conscious breath, and just the sitting practice, where you're just sitting and being present. Brother, this is the thing. Why doesn't anybody want to sit and be present with themselves? What is it that's stopping people from sitting alone with themselves?
Because uh, I do strongly feel that they're not happy with themselves, and that's the reason they're starting to derive the energy from the partners or the society. Otherwise, if we are really content with ourselves, we alone would be more energetic, and we would be spending more time alone. And I do feel that is the sole reason, because they are not totally in gratitude. They're not grateful, or they're not totally happy with what they are. Maybe not practicing gratefulness, or maybe the thoughts of depression, more monotony, even sometimes. That could be the reason why they hate sitting single. Uh, Many more reasons to that.
They need to find comfort with the sitting, right? We need to spend some time sitting.
We need to spend time sitting.
We need
That's
to
a
spend the
practice
time
which we
sitting.
have to
That's
imbibe.
We have to practice meditation. We have to sit and practice
Meditation, yes.
we have to sit and practice meditation, just consciously breathing and
Consciously breathing.
observing the things that are going on inside of the mind.
Yes.
And then sitting with the breath alone, just observing the breath takes us out of the mind. So by breath observation, we stop critical thinking. We stop the thinking mind. And then we can slip into the feeler, the emotional body, the frequency or vibration, the feminine mind, the creative bit, the part of ourself that can manifest all things, the
So
feminine.
balancing the yin and yang.
Coming out of the critical mind by conscious breathing, slipping down into the feminine, into the feeler, into the vibration, into the conscious being, where the body can be reprogrammed with positive affirmation. This is where this is the fertile ground where we want to now put positive suggestion into this space. I am
Yes.
beautiful. I believe in myself. I love myself. I am good. I am valuable. I am worthy. And breathing with all of these affirmations.
Yes.
Sitting and breathing with this positive self-talk,
Affirmations.
positive masculine talk, positive
And
masculine thought, right?
yes, and this is set. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Go on,
And
go on.
that's building the fire, the flame within you. And then,
Yes.
moving out from there is pushing that flame out, like you said with your practice, is to intend your loving nature and energy out from your heart center out to every other being on the planet. This is love for self and
Yes.
intention of love to be shared outward externally with all the others.
Yes.
This is the practice.
And this is certainly the practice which transcends the sexual energy into the spiritual energy. Sublimation.
We have to move beyond the sexual, right? We have to
Yes.
move beyond
Yeah.
sexual, right? The,
Yes.
and this needs to be received in incremental bits. The sexual bit, just like the food bit, just like the coffee bit, just like the fast food. Wherever you are,
They are
wherever
physical
you are,
dimensions.
wherever you are, you may not be ready to receive the concept of celibacy. You may not be ready to receive this concept, and you may be repulsed by it. You may not be ready to receive this idea of no meat. You may
Yeah,
not be ready to receive this idea of living foods, fruits, vegetables, juices.